Would you want a guy, or would you find it off-putting if the guy verbalized it? If he was like, hey, do you want to kiss right now? Or would you prefer it to feel a bit more organic and
if
be like...
I'm into him, I wouldn't
You wouldn't care.
But if he asks me and I'm not into him, sorry.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd imagine if you weren't into him either way,
right.
It would be kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have a preference?
I don't have a problem with that. I feel like that's very respectful. I even with my boyfriend now, like I feel like I asked him, like I set a lot of boundaries because we were friends first. So I was like, hey, like friends do this, that, but we like brought it to levels later after he had to ask me that question. So it's like I feel like that's sort of normal and I would accept that.
Ask you what was the question he asked?
He asked me if he could kiss me.
Okay.
And I didn't take that in a weird way because I liked him.
This is the guy who was the friend.
My boyfriend now.
But he was your friend for a bit.
Yeah.
He friend zoned you, and then he came around.
Yes. And I
did you have a glow up? Like what?
No, I didn't. I just think that we both.
He wasn't ready at the time.
Yeah,
it sounded
he was not ready at the time, and
it sounded like he was living with his parents.
Yeah, and he definitely put in the time to like pursue me, and like I feel like he didn't go after anybody else but me, and he really made that obvious. And I even, like, funny story, I even left him at my house while I went on another date with another dude once, while we were still friends, and I set boundaries on that. And like he literally waited for me at my house while I went on this date, and he hung out with my friend next door waiting for me to get back home, and then I came home.
Got it. Samantha, would you find it off-putting if a guy asked to kiss you, or would you prefer the guy to just go in for it?
Actually, just in the last 6 months, sometime I don't remember when, but that was the first time someone actually asked me, because usually I think they just go for it, but it was the first time someone asked me, and I was like actually really like turned on by it, because I think I felt like, whoa, because I think sometimes someone leans in and then you like don't want to be rude. Yes. So you're like, all right. So it was really nice to like have someone like kind of check in or whatever.
In other words, consent is sexy.
Yeah, it was really sexy. It was like really like, whoa, I don't know, it was interesting.
Consent is sexy. Brooke.
I completely agree. No matter what step you're taking, whether it's a kiss, whether it's sex, like I just think like just make sure that the answer is yes. Like it doesn't matter, like God, it's just like yes means yes. Anything else probably means I'm not sure or no. So yeah.
Big D.
I agree with Coco. Like I obviously, like if the guy is someone I like already and if he asked me, it wouldn't like change my opinion of him. But I have experience where like sometimes like I feel like it can definitely be an ick.
If the guy asks.
Yeah.
That's
and, like,
okay, by the way.
And like if the vibes are right and like like you and her are vibing, like I feel like you could just lean in. And if she doesn't want to kiss you, she could like
Yeah, I think guys are a little bit in a tough spot with this one, because there's definitely some girls will not mind if you ask, but I think a lot of women will say like, I'd rather the guy just go for it. Like they'll be turned off if the guy asks, and it's not a question of like forcing the girl to do it. She could very well want to kiss you, but if you ask, she'd prefer if you just went for it. That's not the case for all women, but I think guys are kind of in this spot. Well, and I don't know, I think if you had like a conversation about it beforehand, like 10 minutes before you anticipated kissing the girl, when I go to kiss you in 10 minutes, do you want me to just go for it, or do you want me to ask? And so do you see where I'm getting at? That might be a bit awkward, so, but that is within sort of the realm of, asking beforehand. So, and I guess we could apply this also to, might be, should we wait for Coco? I don't know. We'll keep going. But so as it relates to I'll come back to that. Oh, she's back. Okay. Can you come this way? Yeah. She's back, ladies and gentlemen. So the next question is, and we were sort of just talking about, I think, about the whole consent thing and how, and I was just saying how on one hand, there's some women that would be turned off if you were to be like, hey, is it okay if I kiss you right now?
Yeah.
You know, they might be like they'd rather it just be organic.
Right.
And that's, if a woman's okay with being kissed, she may prefer for you to just go for it instead of asking. So it might be a bit of a turnoff. So kind of along those same lines, how far do we take verbalizing things? And UCS, so I think in California for the UC systems, all the colleges in California, this isn't the law in California, like broadly speaking, but the law for universities that receive public funding in California, they need to encourage what's called affirmative consent. Mm-hmm. And so that's like, it's not enough just, I don't know the exact language, but like you basically need what it sounds like affirmative consent at every step along the way. So, and I'm not exactly sure what that looks like, but I guess kind of to tie that into what we've been talking about, would you find it off-putting if every single time you hooked up, in each instance that physically it had to escalate, the guy was like, is it okay if I kiss you now? Is it okay if I put my hand on your chest? Is it okay if I put my hand down low? Would you find that off-putting? And we'll start, like, is it okay if I don't know how a guy would smoothly ask, is it okay if I'm trying to be fair with this thing, but like, is it okay if I fuck you now? I don't know. I'm not sure. But would you be okay with that? Or would you find that off-putting?
Maybe not the way you said it right now. But like,
so there's a
maybe
way it
as
could be said.
he went, maybe he would just like, is this okay? Or something like that.
Okay.
It might be like more natural than like, is it okay if I grab your boob now or something, you know? But so you're saying he should say, is this okay? I'm saying that might be better.
But does he need to ask that before he does it? Because if he,
in my opinion, I feel like if I'm already like in your bed, like when we're like doing stuff, I am just not really the type of person to do like the smaller steps with someone if I'm not gonna do the full step. You know what I mean?
okay. So
if I'm gonna kiss someone, I would probably fuck them in the future, like would want to.
Okay.
But
sure. So it would be a green flag for the guy. Hey,
but about the sex, I think for sure like that is something you should ask. But if I'm like already that far with you, then like I'm down.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Let's assume in these scenarios it's like you want to have sex, right? You want to have sex with the guy, but he is.
I think communication is hot.
Hide that bottle. Put that down.
I think if only one person though is kind of like doing the talking through everything, it's kind of weird. So I think there needs to be like a mutual level of communication, like expressing what you want, expressing like what you don't like. Like to me, there's nothing like unsexy about being like, I don't like that. Let's try something different. Like, I just think communication is important in all aspects of life. So I don't have a problem with being asked anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Samantha.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's some benefits to asking, right? But I also feel like then you kind of get into your head and you're not really in your body. So that would be my only, because I feel like traditionally. Maybe we just like feel each other's bodies, but I do feel like sometimes people aren't reading the room, and so they like, am I missing something?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But yeah, so I think asking is probably great if like when it's more towards like the beginning of the relationship, and then as you get to know the person, then that would probably seem kind of extra.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the way that you worded the question, you said if every single guy asked you, I would feel like it's a little like ungenuine, you know what I mean? And I feel like then I would relate all those guys together, and then I would literally think about that another dude when that guy asked me that question, if every single guy is asking me that question. So I feel like that would just make it a little not different for me, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like all these guys are sort of the same if they kept asking me that question.
What is
like,
the question? That
can I put my hand on your chest? Can I fuck you?
Yeah.
Like, before every single, like, the way that you said it was like a little severe. That's why I'm saying it like this. But you know, it's different because I'm just with one guy right now. But even if that guy asked me every single time before we had sex, I would just fucking break up with him, bro.
It wouldn't feel organic,
It
right?
wouldn't feel organic, and it would feel like a cycle, and life's already a cycle. So it's like, I need something to spice it up a little bit. You know what I mean? And asking the same question every single time, it's just like, I don't even want to do it anymore. Like, in my opinion. But the first time, I feel like it's sort of important to ask that question. But moving forwards with that, it's already like, okay, we asked that question, we want to, unless you tell me otherwise and communicate with me that you don't want to do this with me anymore, it's sort of a given that we're going to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.